Hi everyone, welcome to Casual Watch Talk live on the Sunday Social. Let me just check all my socials here. I'm gonna hit the go live on to Instagrams as well. So we're on Instagrams, we're on the Twitches, and we are on the YouTubes. So, but before I do that, let's do a quick wristwatch check.
Wristwatch check.
Wristwatch checking the wristwatches. Yeah. Mark, you kick us off.
So I have my Christopher Ward C8 Universal Time Watch.
Awesome.
One from the archive. This is one of the ones I took to the Christopher Ward event in New York, as I was the old fart with the older style of the Christopher Ward watches. Had a great time with Mike Pearson and the 60 or 70 people who were there. So hope they all like the archive watches.
Yeah, and I spoke to Chris. Watch Chris said he met you.
He was
and
there.
You were
Yep.
cool. Yeah, he said you were a cool guy. So I questioned whether he actually really met you. But
Of course, Mark's a cool guy. Everyone knows that.
I can pretend for 2 hours. Give me a break. It was only 2 hours.
Not at all. Yeah, he said he was very complimentary, as we are. You're a valued member. Thomas,
I'm wearing my Panerai PAM 352. Just get it out of the line there. It's a titanium Panerai, automatic, not a hand-wound one. It's got a tobacco dial. It's got a date as well, Sam. So that'll get your seal of approval. So yeah, I love this. It came on a titanium strap as well, titanium bracelet. But I've got it on a nice stingray strap. Stingray strap, yeah. So that's what I'm wearing today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're honouring the crocodile hunter. Getting one less stingray out there. Awesome. So before I go, I'll just say hello to everyone. Hello, Eric, Bill. Thanks for joining us. Anonymous, thanks for joining us again. Look forward to your commentary during the chat. Chris J. Paul Ballantyne, thank you for joining us. Paul, didn't notice you. I don't know if this might be your first time here, but welcome. And then Kevin, thanks for joining us, Kevin. Thank you so much. Right,
Kevin
okay.
Hawthorne, yeah.
We are going to talk about Hodinkee again, and we were of two minds whether we should do it because we've laid it on pretty thick about Hodinkee the last couple of weeks, or I have. And to be fair, it is sad to see them kind of going downhill because this is real people's jobs. But they did have quite an interesting sale this week, so that's what we're going to talk about. But before we do that, two public service announcements. So first one is that if any of you follow Lucy over at the Watchbox Diaries, she had her Instagram hacked this week. You probably noticed she was promoting cryptocurrency and how to get a Tesla with Bitcoin or something. Those weren't her genuine posts. She managed to get her account back. But what she did say is that she lost a number of followers since then. I think people realized that she'd got hacked and stopped following. So she's just saying, if you followed her before, but you don't follow her now, can you just refollow her? Also, you can follow her account. Great watch content. Also, I like the account because sometimes she'll show what the inside of a gym looks like, which is quite interesting for me to see. Gives me that look without having to go into a gym. Yeah. So follow her account. If you followed her before, please follow her again.
Also, she had her inaugural live stream on Wednesday, which I think might be becoming a Wednesday thing. So the Watchbox Diaries on YouTube, check that out on Wednesday. That's 7:30 p.m. GMT. It's a great live stream. It's all women, 4 girls, 4 women, all talking watches, and it was great. Yeah, really good live stream.
Cool. Yeah, definitely check that out. Thanks, Thomas. I didn't. That was the first time I knew about that. And then second PSA, Mikola Man Cave Leather. He's been a friend of the channel right since I started. I think the first leather watch strap review I did. If anybody's been following the stories from Ukraine, and he made a lot of straps and then great quality leather straps. He had to spin down the business and move to Canada, but now he's starting back again. He's created this new RAF Air Force, which is a first or one of the only tapered leather single pass straps. So he's started to sell those now. He's been a sponsor of the channel before and a good friend as well. So if you're interested in really good quality handmade leather straps, check out mancaveleather.com. Head on over there. I'll leave the banner at the bottom for a little while until it starts obscuring anything else that we are talking about. But yeah, just wanted to do a little PSA there. Follow, see if you've not followed it before, and check out Man Cave Leather. Okay, let's
nice. They look nice, those straps. I like them.
So what are you wearing on your wrist, Sam?
I am wearing. Thank you, Mark. I forgot. I was so busy. I am wearing.
So busy with the public service announcements. Yeah.
Public service announcements. I am wearing my Unimatic tool watch. So this
with
is
a date.
With a date, yeah. Although the date is not as legible as I would like it to be. As if you've seen my review, you'll know. But this is Quartz Watch, their new tool watch mil spec that they say, which is quite interesting because they say mil spec, but it's not the military spec is to do with the materials, not the timekeeping of the watch. We used to saying like COSC, aren't we, and stuff like that for the timekeeping of the watch, but the mil spec's actually to do with the durability of the watch. This is great. This for 500, I think 550 or something US dollars. I've always liked Unimatic, but yeah, they don't normally have the date on them, and they're normally automatics, either NH35As or I think they're doing Solitas now. But this is a great, really good watch. Check out my review on the channel if you want to find out more about that. I also recently reviewed that new Zelos watch, the Zelos GMT titanium watch, for $630. Really, really cool watch. And then before that, I did the Jack Mason as well. So check out my reviews on the channel. Have I got all the plugs out the way? Anything else we need to plug on this?
No. We're plugged out.
We're plugged out. So let's just go to...
It's a joke there, but I'm damned if I'm going to make it.
Okay, so one of the... We've been let me just show this back up again. So we've been talking a lot.
It could be something to do with the Bash Street Kids from the Beano, Mark.
Oh, the Beano. Remember that.
Plug. Anyway,
were you a Beano or a Dandy reader?
I was a Beano reader.
Yeah.
Mostly the Beano, has to be said.
Yeah. Mostly the Beanos. Were you in the club with the badge?
Back to no. Yes, I was actually. I was in the Beano club.
Guilty. Yeah. Guilty as charged.
Yeah. Anyway, back to topic. We're going on the tangent. Beano tangent.
That's what we're here for. Let's just so Paul says he's subbed for a while, but first time live. So long time listener, first time caller. Thanks, Paul. Okay, so let's we've been talking recently about Hodinkee. They basically a couple of weeks ago announced that they were pulling out of pre-owned and the new watch business. We were speculating at the time, well, what happens? What happens with the watches that they have? What happens with Crown and Caliber? Do they wind it down? What happens with the new watch business? Are they sat on a bunch of watches? What happens? Well, we kind of found out this week, didn't we? What would happen? I don't know, Thomas. We got an email almost every single day, didn't we, about this? Everything must go.
Right.
Last chance sale. What was surprising about it is it wasn't just the pre-owned stuff, but they have really, I would say, heavily discounted even the newer watches. You'll see there was a lot more than this. Thomas, you sent some examples. There was a lot more than this. They actually, my Braemont that I love, my Braemont watch, they were selling it for $1,000 off. $1,000, and it's only a $4,000. I think it's $4,200 watch, and they were selling it for $1,000 off. So it immediately devalued the secondhand value of my watch, along with Panerai. But yeah, I mean, you'll see here some of them. We're going to go through some examples here. Here's a Tissot PRX that was $695. They're selling it for $490. These are new watches. There's a titanium flyby, but I'll throw it to the panel. Mark, what did you think? Do you care? What? Oh, there's my Braemont.
Given that I am watch broke at the moment, I didn't really care. I did take a look at the sale, and there was a Panerai there that was supposed to be 10,600, was down to 8,600. It was still 2,600 overvalued, in my opinion. It was nice, but it's not a surprise if they're getting out of new and pre-owned watches. They are doing what any authorized dealer would do if they lose the franchise. You're losing marketing support, you've got stock, you need the money back, so you discount until everything's gone. Typically, you might see 30 to 50% discount if a dealer is losing a brand. So they were making a pretty good pass at the lower end of the discounts. But if they're getting out of the business and you've got stock, you've got to sell it. It wasn't a surprise. And normally, of course, you'd have to know if a jeweler was doing it. It's public when Hodinkee do it because they're online. So we actually got to see the full extent of what is, I think, typical behavior. We got to see it in one go. If you liked one of the watches, and I'm presuming these are all official US stock, so they have warranties, it might be that some of these watches you could have got a better deal with on Jomashop. I didn't look, but I'm guessing with Hodinkee, you've got a proper warranty. So, it's a shame for them, but it's not unexpected, and the markups were in line with what you'd see for this situation.
For me, it was surprising. I'll tell you why. Because, well, two main things. One, I really didn't think that they held a lot of stock of watches. I thought that it might be some kind of drop shipping scenario where either the brands would send direct to the consumer, or they went via their shipping hub. To me, it didn't seem like they were sat on many different versions of these watches. It felt like a more or less a marketplace where they had the watches, you bought one, and then they shipped it from wherever. I was surprised that these watches are clearly in stock. I mean, as Orange Hand just mentioned, it doesn't seem like it was hard way to haggle. I mean, I haggled really hard on my Braemont, and this Braemont was $4,200. I paid $3,500 for mine, and I thought I got a good deal, $700 off a Braemont. So that did surprise me. Thomas, did it surprise you at all? This?
Well, I discussed it with a couple of friends in watch groups I'm in, and I told them that Hodinkee having a fire sale, and one of my friends described it as Hodinkee trying to get back to being good before they got crap, as he phrased it. I mean, what he meant by that was before they started with the shop and everything, and trying to get good in their writing again and stuff like that, of course. But I was surprised by this sale because it wasn't the fire sale that Mark was describing, like they were cutting to 20% and 50%. Everything was around 25% off, which seemed to me the kind of price that you could go into an AD and haggle off anyway. It wasn't a drastic fire sale. I mean, most of the things were around 25%, apart from the things that were Hodinkee collaborations, where they're doing the odd 30%, 40% off in the new watches. That was anyway. The second-hand watches were a lot less off, I found, and in the new watches, they weren't even touching, but they weren't even taking anything off brands like Grand Seiko, Zenith, and then the higher Bulgari, Oxfinitimos, and then even the even higher end brands like Trilobe and Resonance, because they obviously want to stay in with those brands for future articles.
or they think they can sell them at a higher price.
Yeah, because they're going for 20 odd thousand, 30 odd thousand, so they're not dropping the prices of those. So
I mean, we're talking a good game here about, I think, about haggling in a watch store, aren't they? But I have never seen. Let us know in the comments section whether you've ever seen anyone haggle off an Oris, which, to be fair, I think mainly sell online. I mean, these are less than Joma shop prices, aren't they? I mean, this Oris 25% off. I've never heard of anyone haggling that 25% off an Oris. I mean, there's even a flipping Timex on here, which was a Hodinkee collab. That they are, this Timex is, how much is that? Like 47% off. So
yeah.
they were fire sale and stuff, but I was honestly surprised to see a bit, maybe back a couple of years ago, you could go on Joma Shop and get like a cheeky little 30% discount off. But I think that's by the by, and I've never heard of it. I know Mark, you have, and I know Pete Pete McConville definitely has. I've never been lucky enough to happen on a jeweler or know a jeweler that's going out of business and they're dumping stock like this. I think this is the first time I've seen anyone do a dump like this, to be honest.
Like I said, that's
watches.
And you know, I got lucky when I saw one of the local jewelers when they just lost their Breitling license. So they were dumping their Breitlings at 30% off, and I was there early. I presume if I'd gone in a couple of weeks, the stragglers would have gone for 50% off, if not more. Pete McConville's example was his Ulysses Nardin for 50% off.
Yeah.
But it's unusual for Hodinkee because it's so public. You know,
one thing that struck me. Sorry, Sam, go on.
No, I was going to say, they never really did sales on new stuff that I can remember. I mean, you'd often get the emails through for the Crown and Caliber stuff where it's like, oh, take $100 off this, take $100 off that. And the other thing as well, which they dumped, which we'll get into later, was, and I bought 5 NATO straps off them for $5 a piece. I mean, they're dumping, if anybody's in the market for a NATO strap. I mean, look at this one. This is $4. They've reduced it to $4 now. These were $5 the other day. They've got all the different sizes. These are like decent. I don't know if it's the old. I think some of these are the old toxic NATO ones that they were sat on, because UTE or whatever they were called, toxic. Look at that. I mean, Omega. You know, maybe Omega would have thrown in a NATO for you, but you never see an Omega NATO strap discounted like this. I don't think.
No, Omega OEM NATO's $150. I think, you know, usually about. But I don't know whether it's a reflection of the market we're in at the moment. I've heard people saying that within the next couple of months, you're going to see another 20% off secondary prices. So whether that's true, I don't know. But could that be a reflection on what Hodinkee thought? Were they thinking that way? You know, is the market's going down, nosediving, and people aren't buying watches as much now. So we need to really mark down.
I think Hodinkee are looking to realize value from an asset. Inventory is an asset. The faster you can sell it, the better. So, you know, they are moving away. They want to maybe get rid of warehousing. There's a whole bunch of costs associated with holding inventory, as well as the asset value of the inventory. If they've said they're getting out of new and pre-owned, I don't see that this is, you know, anything unusual. And a lot of their pre-owned stuff, and I guess a lot of the new watches are, you know, depreciating assets. You've got to get the money back as fast as you can.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're sat, I felt actually pretty bad about, not bad, but
there's the Panerai I thought of.
Yeah, if you're sat, there's a Panerai, there's a local Panerai dealer to me. You know, maybe I'll go in and start adding them. But imagine you bought this for for 10,000. See, I don't know whether these are the prices that they would be new, this 10,200. I think they're more than that, aren't they? These ones, these submersibles. But look at that. That's 2,000, about 2,000, a little bit shy of $2,000 off, say, the pre-owned price. I mean, they've really devalued the comps on quite a lot of. I mean, look at this Chrono Sport here. I mean, those were quite sought after, weren't they, at one time? And that's 2,200 off. I mean,
if you look, that's pre-owned. But if you look at the new section, they're not discounting the Chronomaster Sports at all. They're keeping them at 10,000. So if you look at the new watches, they're at 10,000. Orange Hand's got an interesting point. He was saying that 20 to 30% discount is common at his local Breitling, Tag, Oris Longines dealer, and no discount days are over. So
yeah, I totally believe him. Orange Hand, where are you based? Are you based in the US?
Canada. In Canada.
Oh, he's in. Oh, maybe then, because I went on a we went on a cruise through March time, and we went to a lot of the the Diamonds International, which is that's your haggle fest in there for everything. And they were not discounting. They would not discount in Breitling. They're like, oh, we that's where I ended up buying my Braemont from. But they were not They were saying we cannot discount Breitling. So maybe it's different. But I mean, I think I'm surprised also because the way that they're like, Mark, to me, the pricing on the new stuff seems like they're in a little bit more trouble than they were. I mean, they must have massively overbought stock then. It just never occurred to me that they would be sat on so much stock. I thought they were drop shipping it or whatever, because they negotiated so hard with the brands, hadn't they, about which ones they wanted to stock and what they wanted to do.
Yeah, because they had that for a while. They had that ability to say, we want this, rather than the brand saying, you take that.
Right.
But, I think if you're a boutique, if you're buying a watch from a boutique, say an Omega boutique, it's still hard to get a discount. If you're buying a non-top brand from an AD, yeah, discounts are coming back. When I bought my Mido, as soon as I got on the phone to say I was interested in the watch, the man offered me 20% off. So
yeah,
discounts didn't necessarily die out completely, but they were rarer. I suspect they're just coming back, and they're coming back to brands that in the past could have said, no, we don't really want you discounting. Oris would be a good example. Longines would be a good example. But if they're still overproducing and you've got independent stores, I suspect discounts are coming back.
Yes,
in demand watches probably not, but not all watches are in demand.
Anonymous has an interesting comment. He says there's such desperation about this. Doesn't smell of luxury. They can't come back from this. Even their own Timex collab at 50% discount, no credibility from now on.
This is such a great comment, and this is exactly what I think. Their credibility, well, it's twofold, isn't it? And definitely up for discussing. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this Timex that they were hawking for $280. There's another, that Mido, that they really pumped that Mido up, didn't they? I mean, I think even Watch Chris reviewed it, and I mean, he really liked it. But
the Ocean Star GMT.
Yes.
That one, the Ocean Star GMT.
This is wild. This is 41% off. This is a Hodinkee limited edition that's been out for 2 years, 18 months.
I like mine better.
Oh yeah, your
an Ocean Star GMT. It's like, I like mine much better.
But this back in the day is a slam dunk for Hodinkee, isn't it? It's got their shtick, hasn't it? It's got we went back into the archives and the essence of the original Mido Ocean Star and all this BS that they usually wrap. I bet you they've even got some fluff in there about it. So for them to have this on their books for so long, and then to dump it at 40% off, and for them to say back in that original the original press release that they'd still be doing these collabs. I mean, does this devalue their last, bastion of that they were hanging on to, which is their collabs? What do you guys think on that?
Well, it seems interesting. I mean, they seem to be slashing their previous collaborations more. There's an Autodromo Rally Sport at 30% off, which I found interesting. And
yeah, you actually sent that over, didn't you, Thomas?
as well as this Mido of 41% off. But yet they're still doing more collaborations. They've just done the Porsche one, Porsche design. They've just done the tag. What was it called? Seafarer, that we talked about last week. The revival. So they're dumping their old branded stock, but yet they're going to carry on doing more collaborations, which seems ironic.
Do you know what?
Inventory's an asset and a cost. If you've got stuff that's not selling, dump it. That's what they're doing.
But I think it's surprising that it's not sold. That these collabs have been out for a while, and I mean, the big one here, which is the one that I even made an upload on this, which was the online ceramic. I better spell that wrong. I have this one. This one actually, it's gone back up again. But this one this week, this has fluctuated in price because they definitely had sold this out. I made a video with a screenshot where it showed that this was sold out because I was talking about the Ben Clymer one. This one this week went down. In fact, I've even got a screenshot of it somewhere because I suspected they would do this. That went down to $85 this week. They've put it back up to $111, but that was completely sold out. Completely sold out on Casio and completely sold out on their site. So they were sandbagging these, or they've just got, or somehow they got a fresh order of them. But they've clearly been sandbagging them. Let's see if the Ben Clymer one. I think this one is sold out. That flipping Ed Sheeran one, that one's not discounted. I reckon they entered into some devil's bargain. I think, with my own opinion, with
and Ed Sheeran got the better of that bargain quite clearly.
Yeah. Absolutely, Mark. 100% agree. Like, he's negotiated a price for putting his name on what is arguably the worst G-Shock collab that's ever been made, or in recent times. And yeah, they are basically stuck with. I bet you there's hundreds of them they've got on side for that one. But this online ceramic one, let me see if I've actually, because that is really naughty that they've put it back up. Because that online ceramic one, because I sent a picture in our group chat, like I was amazed that it went. Oh, actually, yeah. Let me show this so everyone knows that I'm not, I'm not just talking a good game here. Although, being a YouTuber, that's. Let's just stop the screen share. Let's add this in. Share screen window. Here we go. Was it this one? No, it's this one here. Screenshot. Here you go. So look, this week that had gone down to $74, back up to 111 now. So I think they're trying to find I bet you they're doing like a stocks and shares thing, aren't they? They're perhaps, with this particular one, they're perhaps responding to the marketing on it. Responding to how people are buying it. Right. Let's just pivot for 1 second, and because I've got another question to ask the panel, but let's see what the audience is saying. So let's have a look here.
Some good comments.
Yeah, really good. So Rolex Guy says, I would disagree. I'm based in the UK and I've seen a lot of websites of luxury ADs here, and there's so many deals to have. Was fun to see X Display Grand Seikos going for bargains. I think, Thomas, you're the only one that's still in the UK. Or not still in the UK, the only one that's in the UK.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that as well, mate?
I'm seeing. I'm seeing deals. I'm just seeing the beginning of that starting to happen. I'm seeing a lot of availability of Rolex models. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing the start of ADs starting to offer discounts. So the I haven't been as proactive going out into the shops, but I'm seeing the start of seeing that. It's not turned into a massive surge of it as of yet, but I'm seeing the start of it. Yeah.
All right, let's yeah, no, thanks for that, Thomas. Let's just go back to their new watches sale. Let's just see if they've got any. Yeah, Brassic Time saying, "Do you get a free Ed Sheeran G-Shock?" I think they're stuck with them. I think that's like a what do they say? Like a stone around the neck. I forget that.
Millstone around the neck. Yeah.
Millstone. Yeah. Let's have a look. Ben Claimer. Yeah, Ben Claimer should collab with Patek. It might help Hodinkee. It might do. Did somebody notice the travel clock, or was that
Yeah.
let's see.
Did someone post that in the group chat?
Yeah, let me see if I've actually got that. Let's just see first if I can search for it here. Because somebody noticed, I think maybe it was in the pre-owned. Let's have a look in the pre-owned. Basically the catalyst from a few years ago of what people consider Hodinkee's demise. I don't think
Hodinkee hype, yeah.
Yeah, the Hodinkee hype train when that came to maybe it's not. Let me see if I can get the screenshot up whilst we talk about I've crashed the website. Let me just see if I can get the screenshot up before we do anything else. But yeah, I think it was off to the side, wasn't it? They definitely, I definitely had it. If I can't find the screenshot, I'll post it into the YouTube social post thing.
But it was about 2,000 off retail, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what makes me think? Let's just do a. That makes me think that is somebody's personal one that they had. Do you know what I mean? That somebody that works at Hodinkee.
Somebody
it makes
works
me feel
there.
like.
Yeah.
And could it be Ben's personal one? I mean, he would have the hubris to have bought one of those, wouldn't he? To have collected one.
Wouldn't it have to have leather patches on it somewhere?
Yeah. Well, it was coated. It was leather, wasn't it? It was covered. It was covered in grey leather. That was a big strong announcement. These are actually
tweed case.
Yeah. These are all the Hodinkee collabs, I think, that are on sale. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not a Hodinkee collab, is it? This one is, though. This one definitely is this Braun. So there's quite, I mean, that Braun's going for quite a bit off. The Unimatics, they're not for sale. But let me just ask the panel. What do we think? So Hodinkee, if Hodinkee goes pure journalism now, they obviously need the brands to pay them advertorial, don't they?
Yeah.
But are they burning a significant bridge here with the brands by just basically they're dumping it? They seem to be dumping the stock.
I don't think so. I think I think it's the brands will be so used to the fact that that's what happens these days. That's what happens when money's tight and, like Mark said, stock is building up. You put it on sale and you get rid of it, and brands will be well aware of that trend, and I don't think it will affect the. Personally, I don't think it will affect the relationships between advertising or articles that are written about watches from the brands. I don't know what Mark thinks.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with Thomas on this one. if Hodinkee can demonstrate that they still have the reach, they still have the unique clicks, unique users, then why would a brand get upset about it? I mean, if you've got a small brand that's essentially run by one man whose ego gets bruised because his precious baby is being discounted, yeah, fair enough. But a big brand, if Hodinkee can demonstrate they have the reach, this is just a business thing.
Yeah,
it's a matter of if someone decides to take it personally, yes, but I think the big brands, if Hodinkee can demonstrate that they still have the reach and influence they used to have, I don't think it would change the relationship.
I'm definitely going to give my opinion on this, but just to prove the point. So yeah, so they sold it 3,000. So the original travel clock was six. It's still hilarious that $6,000. So they did have one. They did have one. Look, it sold this week though, but they were knocking that out. Thomas, you were bang on there about well, it's over 2,000 less, isn't it?
Yeah, 3,000 or something, was it?
Yeah, I think this is somebody's personal one. I think somebody who total speculation and conjecture and hyperbole and all that, but I think this is somebody's personal one from Hodinkee. Maybe it was Ben's one. Although I think he would probably have signed it, wouldn't he? He would probably have put that in there that it was his personal one, wouldn't he? But I think that actually is maybe quite jarring to see that they had to discount that travel clock, which I think was probably the start of the Hodinkee demise. I've got a feeling that my opinion on this with the brands, I think you're totally right. If they see a value in, oh, we're going to still advertise and we're still going to get the money. But I think there definitely have been perhaps some interesting phone calls with Oris, for example, and a few of the other brands about, because they have devalued basically the other resellers, haven't they? Because there's no other retailers, ADs that are discounting like that, aren't they? So they've definitely, I bet Oris got a few calls off retailers, and then they've given Hodinkee some stick, because really they've devalued these brands since COVID, have been very proud and justifying their retail prices, haven't they? Based on and putting their retail prices up. So for Hodinkee, which was once the bastion of this is the watch lifestyle, this is the GQ of watches, this is, these watches are, they're worth the money because of, all this different, they're writing articles about why the watches are a good value for money, and then for them to discount the new ones. I think it's just an interesting, just an interesting part of Hodinkee's history to be in at the moment. The ebbs and flows of it. They're clearly on some kind of downward.
Yeah, I mean, Rolex guy has an interesting comment. Why the hype around Ben Clymer and his watch collabs? It's like you're
like saying you're
going to a basketball shoes branded with Stephen A. Smith, a basketball broadcaster. It's just,
yes. Yeah, well, that's what I made a video about. I made a video about that Rolex, the G-Shock thing, saying how ridiculous it was that he would do a collab on a G-Shock. It's kind of like he was wanting to be John Mayer, or he was wanting to be Ed Sheeran. He was like one of the guys. He's like, oh yeah, no, I've got my own G-Shock, but it just didn't fit his personality. I think that's actually quite a good comment.
Interesting comment, yeah.
Yeah.
Comment, that one.
Yeah, it's something. There was something else. I forget a different product and a different thing that was.
So it's not. It's like not targeting the basketball boots at a sports star, but a sports commentator.
Yeah. Sports commentator.
Never underestimate the power of ego.
Yeah. Well, this might be the whole catalyst of why they're currently where they are at the moment, mightn't it? This might be, and maybe they. Yeah, I mean, I'm still amazed that they've actually got this many watches to dump like that. To be honest, to me, I didn't think that they had. I knew they had some fulfillment and stuff, but I didn't. I thought it was more of a pass through from the brands than them actually stocking these watches. But maybe the brands were like, "Hey, you need to buy this much product off us," like a sort of a sales and return type thing. But Let's have a look. So, Macola, thanks for joining us. Macola, we'll give you a little plug at the start, Man Cave Leather. But some brands that buy out their own discounted stuff to get it off the market. That's true.
They certainly have.
Works.
Whether they will do that in the future, some of the brands can afford to do it. Some of the brands are, if you are a brand and you're desperate to hold on to your price, and you've got a couple of million to spare, yes, by all means take the stock. But that's relatively unusual. It certainly has happened.
Yeah.
But, I think the brands have also learned how to make fewer watches in the past than they have in the past.
Yeah, I mean,
so that definitely overproduction may be creeping up, but I think the brands have more discipline now. Some of them anyway.
That leads on to Von Krul's comment, which is people went bonkers for watches during COVID, and it feels like they're still readjusting to it now. So that's right, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just see who else we've got. So I don't know this is to be true, but I believe Ulyss Nadan and GP did buy back their stock.
Yeah, and there were a couple more that were very public about it as well. It's just I'm old and my memory is failing.
Yeah, because it's not like the luxury handbag where they can destroy it.
Yeah, it certainly did. Well, I think some of them were destroyed, but
oh really?
Because they didn't want them being discounted at 30 to 40% off on Joma Shop. And we use Joma Shop as an example, but they're a damn good one.
It's funny. Yeah, I made the joke this week that this Hodinkee sale makes it look like Joma Shop's been price gouging, which which is not true. Joma Shop, you can really get some decent deals on there. Maybe this is the time for Joma Shop now. Maybe these brands, they'll have to start looking at the grey market again. When since COVID they've been thumbing their noses up at the grey market, haven't they? But now Hodinkee essentially has turned into the pricing is similar to the grey market. I just think it's quite the irony of it. Honestly, is quite.
If you start seeing Omega Seamasters on Joma Shop at 30% off, there's a problem.
Yeah, and that used to be the case, though, didn't it, Mark? That was. I remember.
Then they stamped on it. Then Omega stamped on it. Yeah.
Because that's I love the Aquaterra, but I don't think I could buy one from a boutique, knowing that at Joma you could get them for like $1,500 at one time. At the Aquaterras. I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy one at that time. I've always kicked myself that I never bought the Bumblebee one, the 15,000 Gauss, but. And when they were going for like $2,000, but anyway, that's a. So Thomas, you've got some really good examples here of the watches that you think were most discounted that of note.
Well, good deals. Yeah. I mean, there's this Mido, the Hodinkee collaboration, 41% off.
Yeah, you've got the Satina as well. This is quite interesting, isn't it? Because Satina's a Swatch brand, but that isn't typically sold in the US, is it? It's a brand that they pitch at the European markets. I think Teddy is one of the few that is a AD for it, and obviously Hodinkee. So it's interesting to see these are discounted. But that's a cracking watch, isn't it? For $620.
Yeah, I really like. Big fan of the DS myself. This PH 200 and the PH 500, but this PH 200 35% off, which is I thought was a good deal.
Yeah, this next one, this is interesting. I've met the guys at Benrus. I always thought that this watch was very expensive.
Again, 35% off. I don't know whether you thought it was very expensive. Is it very expensive, do you think?
At 970, it's probably getting there, isn't it? I think it has a Solita in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Does it say? It just says automatic. Don't know if it says. I think it has a Solita. But when they were knocking these out, they made a big song and dance about these when they released it, because Benrus, I believe, made the original. This is the CIA watch for anybody that knows the history of it. I think they made the original Type 2s, so they made a huge song and dance about it, a big ad campaign. And I was like, I'm gonna get one if it's a decent price. And when it was like 1,500, I was like, oh god, that's way over what I was thinking it was gonna be.
I'll just say, Orange Hands comment at the bottom. If you can get a Speedy 3861 for 5,800, buy it.
Let's actually have a look at that. Speedy 3861. Yeah, okay. Let's pull up Joma because we'll do a little bit of a guerrilla shopping.
And that ties into Rolex guy's comment a couple above about, I don't think brands are dumping stock onto the grey market, but some of the ADs might be.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have been more clear that it was. Let's have a look here. Omega 8631. Is it this one?
3861.
3861. Is it this style?
It's a Moonwatch.
Speed Professional.
Yeah, Speedmaster Professional.
Oh yeah, look at that. Trade-in eligible. It's not pre-owned, that is it either? 6650.
Is that the Sapphire Sandwich though? It may be the.
I think the Sapphire Sandwich is more expensive.
Yeah,
Sapphire scratch-resistant Sapphire Crystal transparent case back.
If you go back, if you just go back, just go back and go to the one next to it, to the right of it, that one. Yeah. That's the one he's talking about. Yeah. So these are normally 7,000.
Yeah.
The Hesalite. These are normally 7,000, but they're down to 5,800 in Joma shop.
Yeah.
Now that is scary.
Yeah. I had a Speedy for so long, but I can't equate even $6,000 for just the standard one. But one of those. Look at this though. This is discounted 19% off the green one. I mean, this is wild. That can't be right. That can't be in stock. Wow. Didn't these go up to like close to 50 mark at one time?
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these started off, was it 12 or 13,000? I'm surprised to see one on Joma shop because Omega have said they've stopped making, they're not taking any orders for them. They seem to make about 1,000 a year.
It's not. It doesn't have the little in stock badge either, does it? Ships in 2 to 4 weeks.
That means they'll hunt around for one at that price.
Yeah.
They
got the Sedna Gold one below it as well.
This
below
one
the
here.
Snoopy, just to the left. That one.
This one
is
here.
That no, just to the right. The one you before.
Middle.
That one.
Oh, like the rose gold.
Yeah, the Sedna Gold one. Wow.
There.
For availability.
And Joma shop don't offer an Omega warranty, so they could be pulling those in from excess stock from Asia, China in particular.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, they could do. I mean, this is. I mean, I suppose 5,800 for a Hesalite. That's not bad, is it? It doesn't tempt me to buy another one. I would buy the the Omega that I would buy.
Well, the thing is that particularly with the Speedmaster Professional, they've made so many, and there are so many different variants that you can get a damn good one pre-owned at a decent price. You can get an 1860. You can get an 1861. Damn, it's as good. And if you really want the modern bracelet, just buy the modern bracelet.
Yeah, I actually really like the George Clooney one, the 57. This one, I like this with the green dial.
Right.
I like that quite a bit actually. That's not bad.
Nice.
That's a previous one. Yeah. Okay. Going back to Hodinkee. Oh, you found a Breitling that was on sale. A new Breitling.
Yeah, a new Breitling. This is 25% off for this Premier B01.
So that's different, isn't it? Because we haven't seen Breitling discounted before.
But again, I would have thought that you could go into a Breitling AD and haggle 25% off, probably in the market we're in today. You could probably go into a Breitling AD and just haggle 25% off this one and get it at this price.
And what this tells you is that you should go into at least in the US, you should go into the ADs not the boutiques, because the boutiques will have much better pricing discipline. The thing is that a lot of the brands have been pulling out of ADs because they know they don't have the pricing discipline.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because I mean, I went into several of those Diamond International ones in the various ports that, like Nassau, Bahamas, and Jamaica, and even on the ship that I was on, where I got a discount on that Braemont, and they were not even, because I really like the Chronosport, the 3-hand Breitling one that, and they were not even slightly interested in talking about discounting it. They said we cannot do it except for if it's an older model. Look at this. Actually, there's quite a few models. That Chronomat is what
Chronomat,
that you never see those discounted. Wow, look at that. That's a cracking watch for 6,380. I mean, it's chunky, but they're beautiful.
How much is off that? How much is off that?
You buy that over at Speedmaster any day.
Yeah, 25% off. I mean, that is Joma prices, isn't it? Joma Shop were knocking them out at and this is their like in-house movement, but this is the one that they actually make, I think, is all in that one place, don't they? There's a great YouTube video of them actually making that watch. Let's see if they've got, let's just go back to Breitling and see if they've got, I hope they don't, because I don't want to have to obsess about it, but the hopefully they haven't discounted. No, they haven't. Yeah, they haven't got it. I was hoping they would. I'm glad they haven't got it actually, but so they've only got a handful of Breitling models. So yeah, that's it. Really interesting, isn't it? And poor Zodiac's getting the treatment, aren't they, on the discounts on here as well?
Well, the thing is that Zodiac no longer have Mike Pearson making them famous.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean, I don't mind Zodiac, but I thought as they crept up, they're a great watch for that 1,190. That's a good price for it. But as they started to creep up, it was a little bit. But these PRXs, I mean, these were the darling of the YouTube review community, weren't they, for so long? You never really saw discounts on those. Tissot. Yeah, it's look at Timex. Oh, there's a what's the name of Second Timex that's
discounted. I saw that. Yeah.
These are current model Timexes. I mean, but Timex do send through a cheeky offer every now and again. This is a good price. I noticed this one. What else did you have? You had a Super Sea Wolf.
The Zodiac. I like the Super Sea Wolf. There's only 25% off this one. It's a ceramic one, and but I do like this. I'm a big fan of this watch.
This was bizarre.
This is bizarre. This is a 4,000 meter Oris Aquis Pro. It's a beast. Yeah, 25% off, which is $1,600 off. So it's a $6,600 watch, but it's now $4,999, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the money just for the sheer novelty of it, it's quite. I mean, look at how thick that. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? The thickness on that.
It's a professional diver's watch. Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
Just out of curiosity, do they actually tell you how thick that thing is?
They've got to, haven't they?
Probably about 17 mil or something.
Case size 49. Lug width 26 mil. Lug width. Wowzers. I wonder if it does. Somebody will know in the chat. Let us know in the chat if you know how thick that is. It's got to be 20, that, hasn't it, or more? Just looking at the dimensions of it from here.
Yeah, because I've got watches that are 18 mil thick that watch is making look very thin.
Yeah, really? Yeah. I think it's. But that was quite. This is a recent Oris watch, isn't it? I mean, within the last 18 months. That was quite a thing. I mean, I think even Teddy did a. But there's been some absolutely awesome. I mean, these Aquises for Aquai for 2,500. I mean, there was some color variants. Was it the green? There was one that was down at 2,000. I think one of the color variants of this, which again I think was a cracking deal. I think they're flexing their prices. You know, I think they're flexing their prices based on demand, because I'm sure one of these Aquises, when I looked, was near the 2,000
You mean bending prices back up and down? And
yeah,
up and
yeah.
down.
I think this has come down a little bit. This is a cracking watch. I think Jodie at Just One More Watch reviewed one of these. Reviewed one that was discounted, but
Pro Pilot.
Yeah, for $1,000 off. This is a cracking deal. This. If I had the money, I might be tempted, but I'm not. Let's see what else they've got on the Oris side. I'm sure they had an Aquis. I bet you I've got a screenshot of it somewhere. They had an Aquis down at. Oh, there you go. 2,180 small seconds. Oh, there you go. Aquis. There you go. That was it. What I was thinking of. Aquis 43mm with green dial 2030. I mean, that's a. You've got one of these, Mark. The blue.
I've got an Aquis Mark 1 on the rubber strap. Yeah, I've had it 10 years now. Lovely watch. So Bill K right at the bottom of the comments just picked up a brand new Oris Aquis with a caliber 400.
Oh wow!
Full AD warranty at half of retail. So
really, Bill K.
Well done.
I wonder if see, Oris are one of those brands that was always more popular with the YouTube community or the Instagram or TikTok community than it was necessarily with normal people.
Yeah.
You know.
And the thing is, you've always been able to get discounts on Oris.
Yeah.
They really pushed when Cal 400 came out. They used that to essentially double their pricing. And I wonder if they, and a lot of people got caught out. And I wonder if there's a little bit of Schadenfreude with some of the price discount now.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. And I think the good thing about Oris, it blazed that this is a beautiful one. It blazed the trail for because they took the initial reaction to using Salita movements, didn't they? They were the ones that kind of paved it, and then Christopher Ward obviously benefited many years later from using the Salita movements once Oris kind of forged that path. This is a cracking one, isn't it? This is a beautiful looking one for $2,030. Wowzers. Yeah, I really like the look of that one. I don't think this is caliber 400, but that's wild, isn't it, to have the caliber 400, which was their flagship. They kind of even made it with the teddy bear ears, didn't they, to match with their or the face of the teddy too, because the one that we were looking at before was this is caliber 400, isn't it? This has got their caliber 400 in it. Yeah, they made it look like
those are nice watches, and
the smile.
The caliber 400 is a nice movement, but I don't think they're that nice.
Would you go in it? Do you think would you pay $3 for that? 3,000.
Well, I'm going to pay 4.5 for a 12X, so my judgment's suspicious anyway.
Well, I mean, that 12X is beautiful, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know when I used to do that? When I used to go into Bob's Watches, when they very kindly used to let me go in there and film watches, they actually would have a lot of Oris pre-owned watches in there. So they do. Every Oris that I've ever held, I've always been impressed with the fit and finish of it.
Yeah.
God, this upcycle one, that's a bit rough, isn't it?
Tap 1999. Will Richemont buy Oris to compete with Longines? I don't think Oris is for sale right now. But
because Oris is still independent, isn't it?
Oris is still independent, still family owned.
Yeah. Really, right.
I don't think that the larger watch brands are really into buying other watch brands right now. They're more into keeping their wallets closed and surviving a downturn right now.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I want someone to buy Breguet and revive them and give them a new lease of life.
I think only LVMH
I think Breguet dying under the Swatch Group. Yeah.
But that I mean, the Swatch is like Hotel California, isn't it? You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. I mean, once those brands go into Swatch, they're never gonna get rid of them, are they? I don't think. Yeah. So Rick on watches, you spot on. Oris are a solid buy for the price,
especially pre-owned.
Yeah, pre-owned.
Cool.
Good to see Rick.
Yeah, good to see Rick. Let's just okay. Well, actually, I don't think we've made too much light of it. I think it was more of a reaction video than anything, because I was certainly shocked. And it is bad that Hodinkee, I guess, are in this state where they have to sell off watches like this. They're perhaps in a little bit more trouble, or they perhaps had a little bit more, they were sat on a little bit more, what do they call it? Not debt. What do they were sat on a little bit more liabilities than
Inventory.
perhaps we thought. Yeah, inventory.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they can come through it. I mean, it's still, it makes for good YouTube videos anyway, but hopefully they can come through it.
I mean, it's a state of the watch market, isn't it? I mean, when it's in a bit of a free fall at the moment. Well, not yet, but words on the YouTubes are that it's heading for a free fall. It's heading for a watch prices to get even thinner, and more to get skimmed off. But in a few months, So we'll see, and that will make for more YouTube content. Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
You'll find out which brands are good businessmen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think so. I think brands like, our friends over at Christopher Ward and places like that. I think that, I think they'll be strategic. I think they'll be okay. But yeah. So, well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, check out mancaveleather.com at the bottom there.
Mancave Leather, yeah.
Yeah, Mancave Leather. And then check out, go on Lucy's Instagram. If you followed her before and you stopped following her when she got hacked, please follow her again. Follow me on Instagram.
And check out our live stream on Wednesday. Check out our live stream on Wednesday. Watchbox Diaries on YouTube. Great live stream.
Yeah, 100%. Mark, Thomas, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time on Casual Watch Talk Live Sunday Social. Bye, everyone.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.